Welcome to the Adventures of the Jolly Otter. Chapter 1. Barrels, Bets, and Buccaneers. In a sleepy little town by the sea, there was a tavern. In that tavern, there was a cellar. In that cellar, there was a barrel. And in that barrel, in the cellar, in the tavern, in that sleepy little town by the sea, there lived an otter named Camilla. Every day, Camilla would climb out of her cozy little barrel, put on her apron, and scale the stairs to work. Though the stairs were not made for an otter, Camilla didn't mind the climb, because at the top of the stairs, Mr. Pig would be waiting, with a cup of tea and a warm breakfast for her. "Another fine day out on the water," Mr. Pig would say. "The tavern will be busy today." And Camilla would always smile and nod and sip her tea, because Mr. Pig always said it would be busy no matter the weather. And he was always right. Though Camilla liked Mr. Pig, he was a very nice pig, and she liked her barrel. It was a very nice barrel. And she liked the little tavern in the sleepy little town by the sea. She always wanted more. Because when the sun rose high in the sky, the horizon would fill with sails, giant white sails on ships of all sizes, cutting through the water and steering into port. There were sailors and merchants and traders and travelers all coming ashore. But Camilla's tavern wasn't for travelers and traders. Camilla's tavern catered to pirates. Every night, the tavern would be full of pirates and buccaneers and bandits, from swashbuckling squirrels to marauding marmosets. They were very loud and very messy. Camilla didn't mind, because while she served them their drinks, she would listen to them tell stories of their adventures, of thieves and treasure, of daring damsels, and life on the high seas. The pirates loved Camilla, for she was kind and warm and always wanted to hear their stories, even if she'd heard them 100 times before. But the best part of the nightly festivities was the songs. Every night, the pirates would sing special pirate songs called shanties. Camilla loved to listen to their shanties. Sometimes they even let her join in, and for a while, Camilla could imagine she was out there on the ocean, living a life of excitement, far away from the cozy little barrel she called home.
Oh, round Cape Horn we are bound to go.
Tiddly-roo-dah, roo-dah.
Around Cape Horn through the sleet and snow.
Tiddly-roo-dah, roo-dah day. Blow, boys, blow for California, yo. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento.
Them raccoon girls ain't got no combs.
Tiddly-roo-dah, roo-dah.
They comb their fur with tuna fish bones.
Tiddly-roo-dah, roo-dah day. Blow, boys, blow for California, yo. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento.
When we gets up to Frisco town,
Tiddly-roo-dah, roo-dah.
we'll ride them streetcars all around.
Tiddly-roo-dah, roo-dah day. Blow, boys, blow for California, yo. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. Blow, boys, blow for California, yo. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento.
And when all the drinks were drunk and all the songs were sung, Mr. Pig would ring the bell. "All right, you salty dogs, closing time." And the pirates would pay their bills and tip their servers and say farewell to the tavern on their way back out to sea. While Mr. Pig tended to the business, Camilla cleaned up. She pulled the curtains closed, imagining she was trimming the sails. She mopped the floor, imagining she was swabbing the deck. And when Mr. Pig wasn't looking, she helped herself to a little snack, because what's a pirate without a little mischief. It was almost dawn by the time all the cleaning was done, and all the ships in the harbor would be heading back out to sea. But before Camilla went back to her barrel, she would look out at all those ships sailing away into the sunrise and sing her own little shanty. Blow, boys, blow, we're bound for the unknown. Out in the water, no one can stop her, captain of the Jolly Otter. Camilla would fall to sleep and dream of being the captain of a pirate ship with a crew of rough and tumble critters sailing wherever she wanted, doing whatever she wanted. And one day soon, sooner than she knew, Camilla's dreams would be coming true. Camilla knew today would be different. It wasn't her cozy barrel that was different. It wasn't the climb to the top of the stairs that was different. It was Mr. Pig. He made the same breakfast and gave her the same cup of tea. But today, "Something strange is on the wind today, Camilla," Mr. Pig said, eyes off toward the sea. "The tavern will be busy today," because Mr. Pig always said the tavern would be busy. And he was always right. The ships came into harbor like they always had, and by nightfall, the tavern was full of pirates like before. And like every night, Camilla was thrilled to hear the stories they had brought ashore about buried treasure and long-lost loves, of grand entrances and daring escapes. Unlike most other nights, though, tonight's special was Mr. Pig's world-famous clam cakes, so everyone was in an especially good mood, especially Camilla, who made sure to sneak a clam cake into her apron when nobody was looking. But all through the night, Camilla noticed that Mr. Pig's worried face had not changed. So she asked some of the pirates if they could sing something to put his worried mind at ease. These pirates had been coming to this tavern for a long time. They loved Mr. Pig, and they loved Camilla, and not just because she was quick with the drinks. And of course, they loved to sing their pirate shanties, so they were happy to oblige.
Safe and sound at home again, let the waters roar, Jack. Safe and sound at home again, let the waters roar, Jack.
Long we've tossed on the rolling main, now we're safe ashore, Jack. Don't forget your old shipmate, folly, rolly, 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 ry-o.
Since we sailed from Plymouth Sound, 4 years gone or nigh, Jack, was there ever chummies now, such as you and I, Jack?
Long we've tossed on the rolling main, now we're safe ashore, Jack. Don't forget your old shipmate, folly, rolly, 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 ry-o.
Oftentimes we have laid out, toil nor danger fearing, tugging on the flapping sail to the weather earing.
Long we've tossed on the rolling main, now we're safe ashore, Jack. Don't forget your old shipmate, folly, rolly, 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 ry-o.
But just when Mr. Pig's frown started to turn into a smile, the tavern door burst open with such great force that all the songs and laughter stopped all at once. A tall, dark figure filled the doorway and growled as he stooped to step inside. He was green and scaly, with a black captain's coat and a black captain's hat. Camilla had never seen him before, but more than one of the pirate stories had featured such a creature. The meanest, most selfish, and greediest pirate there ever was. The Crooked Crocodile, captain of the Snaggletooth. The crocodile's hat brushed against the ceiling as he strode through the tavern and sat himself at a table by the window. The wooden stool groaned beneath his giant body. Camilla watched from across the room as he reached into his coat pocket and pulled out 3 wooden cups and a gold coin. He was smiling, but it was a smile that Camilla did not like one bit. It is important to note that if there's anything pirates love more than singing, more than sailing, and singing while sailing, it's gambling. But more often than not, gambling can get a pirate into a lot more trouble than singing or sailing. The game was simple. The crocodile would put the coin down on the table. Then he put the 3 cups upside down in a line, with the gold coin under one of them. Then he'd mix the cups up by sliding them around the table, and when he stopped, you picked a cup. If the coin was under the cup you picked, you win a whole bag of gold coins. But if you guess wrong, the croc wins your money. No one could resist the chance to win some money for long. Badger Bob was the first up. Camilla watched him sit down opposite the crocodile with his bag of gold. The crooked crocodile put his gold coin under the middle cup. He switched them up, sliding them around on the table. He crisped them, he crossed them, he looped them around and back, until finally he stopped. Camilla saw Badger Bob smile, and he pointed to the cup on the left. But when the crooked crocodile lifted up the cup on the left, there was no coin to be seen. Then he picked up the cup on the right, revealing the coin had been beneath it. With a sigh, Badger Bob handed over his bag of gold and went back to his table, looking sad. Camilla got a little closer to the table as Warthog Willem sat down in Bob's place. He put his bag of money down, and the crocodile put the coin under the center cup. Camilla watched his hands carefully as he moved the cups. He crisped them, he crossed them, he looped them around and back until finally he stopped. Willem wiggled his snout as he thought about which cup to pick. Camilla silently picked the cup on the right, so she was happy that Willem picked the same. But they were both wrong, it seemed, because when the crooked crocodile lifted the cup on the right, there was no coin to be seen. It was under the cup in the middle. I was sure I was right, Camilla thought to herself, as Willem snorted an annoyed snort and left his money to go back to his own table. Something fishy's going on here. Now it was Gustav the goat's turn. If anybody could beat the crocodile, it was Gustav. Camilla got closer now. The table was so tall, she had to stand on her tippy toes to see the cups. And she was so small, the crocodile did not see her as he started to move the cups around. Camilla watched his claws very, very carefully this time. He crisped, he crossed, looped them around and back. But on that second loop, Camilla noticed something she had not seen before. Inside the sleeve of the crooked crocodile's black pirate coat, there was a tiny little octopus. And on that second loop, the tiny little octopus shot out his tiny little tentacle, grabbed the coin from under the cup, and slipped it under another. The crooked crocodile was cheating. Nobody else could have possibly seen what Camilla had seen. Everyone else was too big. Camilla tried to warn Gustav, but it was too late. As soon as the cup stopped, the goat stood up and triumphantly pointed to the cup in the middle. The Croc smiled that smile that Camilla did not like one bit, and lifted the cup on the left, where the tiny octopus up his sleeve had slipped the coin. Gustav couldn't believe his eyes, and he shouldn't have, but handed over all his gold to the Crooked Crocodile before walking back to his own table. Before, the tavern had been full of singing and laughter. Everyone was having a great time. Now, the only one having a good time was the cheater stealing everyone's money. Not even Mr. Pig's world-famous clam cakes could cheer the pirates up. Camilla knew that some pirates were terrible villains, but the pirates that she had known were good and had always treated her with kindness. Somebody had to do something, but if she accused the crocodile of cheating, things could get ugly, and she wouldn't do that to Mr. Pig. That's when Camilla remembered she still had a clam cake tucked into her apron. That's when she got an idea, because in all the stories she'd heard about the Crooked Crocodile, she'd learned he was the meanest, most selfish, and greediest pirate in the world. But not a one of them ever said he was very clever. Camilla took a tiny piece from her clam cake, reached up as far as she could, and placed it on the edge of the table near where the crocodile was sitting. Then she climbed up into the chair where Badger Bob, Wilhelm Warthog, and Gustav the goat had sat. "Excuse me, sir, I'd like to play your game," she said. The Crooked Crocodile looked down and noticed the little otter for the very first time. He snorted as if she were joking. But still, he was happy to take anyone's money, even those who did not have much to give. He reached out with his big scaly claw, eager to take whatever she had. Camilla shook her head. "I'm sorry, but I don't have any money. All I have in the world is my little barrel in the cellar," she said. "Oh, but I couldn't possibly wager that." The Croc looked down at her. What could be so special about a barrel? "Oh, well," Camilla sighed and hopped off the chair. "I guess I'll be on my way." The Croc examined the young otter with curiosity. If the barrel meant so much to her, it must be worth something. He growled and pushed Badger Bob's bag of gold towards her. "Oh, no, no, no," Camilla said, holding up her paws and shaking her head. "My barrel is one of a kind. It's worth a lot more than that little coin purse." The crocodile glared at the otter for a moment. The more it was worth to her, the more he wanted to take it away. He pushed another bag of gold across the table, this time Warthog Willem's. "Oh, no, no, no," Camilla said, holding up her paws and shaking her head. "I'm sorry, you don't understand. I couldn't even consider wagering it just for gold." The crocodile was getting frustrated now. He'd never heard of such a barrel. Was it magic? Was it made of diamonds and jewels? Did it once belong to an ancient king? He needed to know. He needed to have it. He pushed Gustav the goat's gold toward the otter. Then, before she could "oh no no" him again, he plucked his black pirate hat off his scaly green head and threw it down on the table. By now, the entire tavern had circled around them, even Mr. Pig, who looked more worried than ever. Everyone knew what that meant. The Crooked Crocodile was wagering not just the money he'd won, but he was also betting his ship, the Snaggletooth. Camilla tapped her chin and made a little thinky noise. I suppose that's enough. Let's play." The Crooked Croc put the gold coin beneath the center cup and began to slide them around. Camilla followed with her eyes as he crisped and crossed and swooped and looped and just for good measure looped it back again before finally he stopped. He grinned that grin that Camilla didn't like one bit. But this time she smiled back. Because she was so small, she was the only one who could see that the bit of Mr. Pig's world-famous clam cake she'd left on the table had attracted the tiny octopus from the crocodile's sleeve, and the little fellow had been happily munching on it while the croc was moving the cups. Camilla pointed to the cup in the middle. The crooked crocodile's grin disappeared as he lifted the cup and revealed the gold coin. The entire bar burst into cheers, and the crooked crocodile got up and stormed out, leaving the gold, his captain's hat, his ship, and even the tiny octopus to Camilla. Camilla gave the gold back to the pirates who'd been cheated, and gave the rest of her clam cake to the tiny octopus, who seemed quite fond of them and of the otter. Camilla looked over to Mr. Pig. He smiled and decided maybe he wouldn't ring the bell until later. Then all the pirates sang a very special shanty for Camilla, because now she wasn't just kind and warm and clever. Now she was a pirate, and she had her own story to tell.
Blow, boys, blow, we're bound for the unknown. Out on the water, no one can stop her, captain of the Jolly Otter.
Thank you for listening to The Adventures of the Jolly Otter, written and directed by Ben McLaughlin, narrated by Susan Lee McLaughlin, created and artwork by Amanda Bunce, with special thanks to Kate Bunce, Jill Kiter, and Corey Bunce. A Keo production.